everyone. I've got another meal in a jar recipe for you today. This one is a just add water recipe. It's very simple to prepare, but oh so tasty. This recipe is for a black bean soup. And from what I understand, there's lots of different cultures that have a black bean soup. This is my take on it. It's got lots of vegetables, of course, black beans, and a little bit of spice. I'm using some jalapeno peppers from Litehouse today. You could also use the Thrive Life green chili peppers. And the signature spice in there is cumin. So I'm using a good amount of cumin and just some other spices as well to help give this some flavor. It really is packed with flavor and it is very yummy. I'm starting with, it's a 24-ounce jar, but you can use a pint-sized jar. I was actually out of pint jars. I didn't have any clean ones, so I'm using a bigger jar, but this is all gonna fit in a pint-sized jar. I just wanted 2 or 3 servings. I'm using a cup of black beans, and then I took half a cup of black beans and put them in the blender and really blended them up really nicely to give me a different texture there. And then I'm going to put some green things in here. I've got some celery, the jalapenos I mentioned, as well as some cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, just leave that out. I'm also including some red bell peppers. And then I've got some tomato powder from Thrive. Now the only ingredient in our tomato powder is tomatoes. I've got onions, garlic, and some carrots gonna go in here. And can't you tell it's gonna be delicious? It's got great ingredients. All right, here are the spices. Some salt and pepper, oregano, cumin, I mentioned that. Also, I've got some chicken bouillon powder and a little bit of Goya Adobo. That is just an all-around, like an all-purpose seasoning, but it's found in the Hispanic section of my grocery store. It's got some garlic powder in there, some turmeric, and some other stuff like that. I'm going to include a few packets of that true lime. That's kind of optional. I like a little bit of that brightness in there, but if you don't like lime, just leave that out. Okay, so here's the jar that I'm going to store on my pantry shelf. And I think it's really pretty with the black beans at the bottom and the colorful vegetables in the middle. When you're ready to make this, you can get out a soup pot. I used kind of a medium or medium large one. It wasn't too big. I didn't need it to be too big. Just remove those true lime packets and then empty the contents of the jar into your pot. And all you're going to do is add water here. You can add somewhere between 4 and 5 cups. I started with 4 and actually added a 5th later on, you'll see. Give it a good stir, and you want to bring this to a boil. I put it on medium-high heat to begin with. I did stir it occasionally. Once you get it to a boil, you can turn down that heat just a little bit. I landed at, I think it was a 5.5 out of 10 on my stove, just somewhere around a medium. You want to keep the boil going. You'll want to simmer this for somewhere around 15 or 20 minutes. Stir it from the bottom occasionally so you don't get any sticking on the bottom of your pot. The longer you cook it, the darker it will get and the thicker it will become. I taste tested my beans after about 15 minutes and mine were not tender enough. So I added an additional cup of water, so that's my 5th cup of water. And I stirred it, brought it back to a boil, and I simmered it for another 5 or 10 minutes. I think I ended up cooking this a total of somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes actually. I don't know how people are able to get the instant beans tender in less than that amount of time. I really don't know, but it seems to take my instant beans a long time to get tender. I know some people put them in a Mylar bag and just add boiling water and let it sit for 10 minutes and then they eat it. And I don't know how that I don't know how that works out because mine don't ever seem to be tender at that point. So anyway, cook it as long as you need to cook it. And then you can add your true lime. If you end up adding some more water, you might need to adjust your seasonings. I added a pinch of salt to mine. Now this is optional, okay? Because I already did blend some of those black beans. So that's going to give you a thickened texture. But I like mine even a little thicker and creamier. So I put my immersion blender in there and just blended it for, like, I don't know, a little blitz here and there for maybe 10 different times. And this is the texture I ended up with. It's a lot thicker, but it's not completely smooth. I mean, you can see there's still black beans in there. There's still peppers and onions and carrots. You can see all of that in there. Yeah, there we go. We have our black bean soup. Isn't it gorgeous? I just think it's so pretty. I like to top mine with avocado, cilantro, and sour cream. I also like to serve it with some tortilla chips. I actually forgot to put them on there to show you that. But I just think it's a gorgeous soup and it's so tasty. It's one of those soups that can really absorb any flavor you want to put in there. I know some people add chili powder. Other people will put meat in here. I think it would be great with meat. I think ground beef would be good in here, or even some chicken dices. Sausage would probably be good as well. I just think it would be delicious with whatever you want to do with it. I like it with, just the vegetarian version, just the black beans. But, that's up to you. It's really filling. And as you can see, it's pretty thick. It's really nice with the sour cream and the avocado. I think there are lots of different cultures that have their version of black bean soup. I know there's like Puerto Rican, there's Cuban, there's Spanish, Mexican, even Caribbean. So lots of different cultures have their version of black bean soup, and they probably put different things in the soup. But anyway, this is my version, and it is rather tasty. All right, guys, I'll leave the full recipe in the description box below, as well as my shopping link in case you want to pick up some of those black beans or any of the other ingredients you see featured in my videos. I'll also include my website where you can pick up a copy of my cookbook. It's an ebook, and I've got over 90 recipes in there for meals in jars. These are meals from my YouTube channel. Right, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already. All right, thanks again for watching. I pray y'all have a blessed day. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.